Hey guys, welcome back to Mainville ATV and Outdoors, where we do all things all-terrain. Today, we're not actually out in the field riding doing what we do best. We're focusing on our 670 square foot shop build. Today's project is a power washing and cleaning station. Everything in front of me is going to get installed today. We have a bunch more coming. This is going to be a pretty cool project. If you're looking to wash your machines, keep care of them, maintain them, this is something you may want to look at or a variation of it, so stay tuned. Neighbors cutting the grass, and it looks really good. I think I'm at that stage in life. That's where I'm at. We're talking power washers, and I'm appreciating mowed grass. If you hear my bug zapper, oh man, that thing, it surprises me once in a while. So what we've got in front of us is a slew of products. None of it is sponsored except for our channel sponsor. We have some stuff from Garage Living Ottawa. We're gonna have some more details on that later. Everything else was purchased. Kind of a slew of different products, and even though I bought one thing, I may have upgraded to another, so we're going to go through all the bits and pieces, how I'm going to install it, and why I chose some things over others. I am by no means a power washer expert. I want to be clear about that. There's significantly better channels for that if that's your thing. I'm going to give you the absolute basics and why I chose what I chose, what I would avoid from my personal experience, but if you're looking for the nitty gritty and what PSI at what gallon per minute and blah, 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 you're gonna have to look for a different channel. What we're focusing on today is removing barriers. They say the hardest thing about a job is starting it, and that's what I need to remove to make things easier for me, because I want to focus more on riding and maintaining and upgrading my machine than I do cleaning it. As much as I do enjoy the process, if it's just a huge barrier to getting to it, I tend to not want to do it. So that's what this garage build is all about. So if you look at the rest of the build series, you're going to see all sorts of things I did to make this place more efficient and easier to use. Of course, with a small garage, with as much as we've got going on, that's what I wanted to target. So we're going to go over a few of the pieces. So believe it or not, when I started this little adventure months and months ago, because I started planning this while I was doing the garage build, I just didn't know exactly where I was going to land. This is actually the second iteration. I never showed everyone the first because it was quite a failure, honestly. And this is where I ultimately landed, and I'm much more comfortable showing this off than what I came up with the first time. The first time I bought a product by a company called Giraffe Tools, which is basically this really great marketing team that sells you junk. And the honest truth is, what I paid for that could also get you into this market, which has a significantly better reputation. So it's one of those things you want to consider, and make sure you do your research. Try not to fall down all these alleyways. YouTubers, you got to take them with a grain of salt, and that's including me. I went down this rabbit hole with that product, Giraffe Tools. When I got it here, I actually had it here. Everything about it screamed, send it back. You couldn't repair it, you couldn't replace anything. Everybody's reviews, if you actually dug into them, if you get to the back of all the fake ones, you'd find out that the pumps don't last and everything like that. So all I'm saying is do your research. There's a lot of electric power washers in this category, so you're not, there's a lot that you can go and find and see. This isn't the only solution. This was just the right one for me and what I wanted. We're going to give it a shot, and its reputation is fairly good. It's not perfect. It has some blemishes, but I'm okay with that at this price point. I know what the perfect Krenzla water pump looks like, but I just don't have the budget for it. So this is where I'm at. And what's great about what I'm doing here today is if I do upgrade, I can just swap them out so everything's good. So today we're looking at the Active 2.0. This is the second iteration of what they're doing, and they actually have a 2.3 that was released recently as well. This is advertised as 1,000 PSI, 2 gallons per minute. From all the research I've done and all the power washing I've done, which is a significant amount, I'm not saying I'm a car detailer, but I ride ATVs and side-by-sides through the mud, so I do a lot of cleaning. This is advertised as 1,000 PSI and 2 gallons per minute. You don't need 5,000 PSI to clean a quad. You don't. What you do need is gallons per minute. Now, most people will tell you that if you're washing something and you're carefully washing something or taking care of something, that 1,000 PSI is more than enough. You're not looking to strip concrete, and 2 gallons per minute is great. the more gallons per minute, the better. So there are some setups where you can reach like 4 gallons per minute. There are limitations to these, and that's basically the outlet that you have in your garage. This is designed for a 15 amp circuit. Everything that I found, they land somewhere around 13 and a half amps at peak. So you can even have a bit of a dirty circuit, which basically means that if I plug into this plug here, and I know that's a 15 amp circuit, I could have something plugged in over here that draws 0.5 of an amp. This is still gonna work. So that's what a dirty circuit is. So if you're looking at these pumps and they tell you you need a clean circuit, like a clean 20 amp, then you need a 20 dedicated amp plug just for your unit. So anyway, that's some basic research for that kind of stuff. That's kind of where I landed. I think this is gonna be right up my alley. The nice part about this is we're gonna mount it up on the wall. You're basically gonna go walk up to it, you're gonna release the air from it, fire it up, and you're gonna get to washing. That's it. All of the hoses are gonna be on the reel, everything's gonna be accessible, it's gonna be on the wall, it's gonna be done. You don't have to pull it out of a shed, you don't have to get that crappy hose that won't wind up right, you know, you don't have to drag it across the yard or get it, whatever. You don't have to get a hose to it, nothing. It'll just be done. That is the goal today, and I think this Active 2.0 is gonna be right on the money. I know there's gonna be ways to improve this, but like I said, this is a budget-friendly scenario. So we have a bunch of accessories you're gonna see, and you're gonna see doubles of stuff, which is gonna confuse you for a second. But when you buy the Active 2.0, it's gonna come with everything you need to use the Active 2.0. The issue with that, for me, is I didn't care for some of the accessories that they include. Is it gonna work? Absolutely it is. Is it gonna work in the long run? Nah, who's to say? Some things like their soap dispenser, I don't know if I think they call it a blaster, or I can't remember. But something like this, I don't have a whole lot of faith in. But a company like Griot's that's been doing this for a long time, you know, a nice stainless unit, they actually specialize in this. They've done tons of testing. The plastic is more chemical friendly, that kind of thing. That's stuff you need to consider. For me, I knew that was going to be the way to go. We have a Mosmatic gun, which is actually pretty sweet. And it's all quick connect, which was actually an upgrade that I purchased from a company called Obsessed Garage. So all of this just quick connect, and you can choose whatever tips you want and everything else. So nice stainless unit, and these are another proven product. All of this hose that you're gonna see here was prefabbed by that same company. That's Obsessed Garage as well. So they're the ones that I bought a lot of these accessories from. They do a lot of research into this kind of thing. I also take that with a grain of salt, but ultimately the proof's in the pudding. It's all on video, so make of it what you will. But the nice thing about what Obsessed Garage does is they essentially sell you a service where they put this stuff together for you instead of making 18 orders from 19 places and trying to figure out what's right and having something wrong and dealing with returns. You can just do it from one place. Are you going to pay a premium? Yeah, but it is what it is. I'd rather pay that. Oh, I've got a delivery, one sec. Oh, that was cool. My tires from Royal Distributing are, for my side-by-side are here. You'll see that in a future video. Holy geez, Bob's cooking out there. He's mowing the lawn at 30K an hour. So we talked about the pump a little bit, and I'll touch on a few details when we actually go to install it. We talked about some of the hose and the fittings and things like that. Basically, we're gonna have a supply hose to feed this with water. We're gonna have a hose that goes to this reel. This is actually a Cox reel. They're pretty well famous for making reels. So I got it in an industrial black, and then there's gonna be a 100-foot hose on this as well. So there's gonna be quite a bit of feed to actually get the end result. After that, we also touched on some of the accessories like the foam cannon and stuff like that. Where we're gonna ultimately land, and this is what actually held me up for a little bit because we were waiting on some stuff, is Garage Living, one of our big channel sponsors, Garage Living Ottawa. They have a bunch of accessories for the Slatwall that they installed here in our shop. And what I wanted to do was mount this up on the wall, which isn't a unique or new idea. That's been done many times. But I want to do it on the Slatwall accessories. So you're going to see a bunch of these shelves. They're fairly simple. You literally just kind of put them wherever you'd like. These shelves aren't designed with locks like some of their stuff. Some of their accessories actually have locks to lock them in. I'm not worried about locking these because you're going to have a fair bit of weight on them. They're not going to move anywhere. And this is actually designed with rubber pads underneath, and you can secure it to the shelf if you need to. But we have another accessory here, and this is a panel. This is actually for one of their other products that they have. They mount, I think they mount a vacuum hose reel to this, but he gave me these so I could mount a bunch of different accessories. So I just custom drill some holes, and we're gonna try mounting the hose reel to this. You're probably wondering how much weight Slatwall can hold. This proprietary design from Garage Living Ottawa, that can hold 450 pounds over a certain measurement. It's fairly significant. Like, they'll have an industrial hanger and put spare tires and stuff up on the wall. So it's gonna handle this no problem whatsoever. On the wall we're doing this, which we're gonna get to in a minute, I have a vacuum set up and everything else, but everything on that wall is gonna be fairly light, but all of this is secured in each stud, so you can see all the screws. They line them up with a laser when they install. I was here for all of it. It was amazing. It was dead on the money on all the studs, so you can pretty much hang off of this with a friend. We're gonna get to bringing all of this to the wall we're gonna install this on, and as I'm installing the products and kind of wrapping my head about what we're gonna do, I'll show you what's going on with each of these pieces. Funny enough, as I'm doing this, I'm kind of collecting my thoughts at the same time, so we're kind of gonna just do this together. So one of the things that I was discussing with quite a few people over this build is how you're gonna take advantage of having a small garage but make it do as much as possible. The biggest challenge is using all of the available space. What I mean by that is the walls are very rarely used well as the height of a garage. When you combine that with your square footage, you can get quite a bit more space out of a garage, especially if you use a space like I am here, where you make it task-oriented, let's say. So for this corner, I wanted to be able to wash or detail or clean my machines for maintenance, that kind of thing. I'm not looking to make a detailing shop, I'm just looking to maintain my vehicles. I've got a tractor, 2 trucks, a camper trailer, dirt bike, motorcycles, sleds, ATV, UTV. Like, I can't just have other people detailing my stuff or whatever. It takes a lot of work to clean all of this, so making it as easy as possible is the goal, and making this garage as efficient as possible helps me do that. So this corner I knew was going to end up being something like this, and even as of this video, I know that stuff can get shuffled, but the best part about the slat wall is if I don't like where something is, I can just move it. The only limitation for this particular project and what I'm doing now is water. So I do have a spigot right here. So it was here when I was originally building this garage, and I just left it there. So I knew that if I was going to do a power washing setup, it was going to be here. So what I have to do now is essentially choose a layout that makes sense, because we're going to have accessories, products, and the actual pump itself in a reel. So we just need to make it fit in here as good as possible, but it's not that big of a concern. If I don't like something down the road, or if I have to make changes, I can just shuffle this stuff around. So this vacuum, for example, it's on one of those panels I was talking about earlier. I mounted it to it, and I can just remove this or move it however I wish. We're gonna see if we can get some of this done up. I have a rough idea of where this is gonna go. Basically, that's basically it. I think this shelf is rated for 180 or 200 pounds or something like that. We're not even gonna get remotely close to that, but you know, it's something to consider. So this shelf I'm probably gonna use for all the accessories and cleaning products. You know, I might have microfiber towels and everything like that. This shelf is where the actual Active 2.0 is gonna go. I'm gonna guess it needs so much room. And I was thinking that I could do something like this. This is one of the locking accessories that we were talking about. So now it can't come off the wall, but this is where I'm gonna put the wand. The best part about it is if you go to grab your wand or whatever, you're not gonna pull the hook off. So it can't go anywhere. It can slide a little bit. Some of them are a little stiffer than others, but it can't come off the wall because it's locked. And here's the panel. This is where the reel is gonna end up being mounted, which we're gonna do today. I don't know exactly where it's gonna land, but I do know that I need to get water supply to this, and it's probably gonna come down this side. And from the pump to this reel is also gonna come down the side right here as well. So we're gonna have water kind of moving around, and we'll play with it to try and hide things the best we can, but That's kind of the goal. So you can kind of picture what I'm going for. I'm gonna have to move some of the stuff on this shelf. I may have like cleaning products or something right here so you can just grab it all, but I think you get the gist of it. It's probably gonna land something like so. And I'm gonna have the power cord run to here. This is another thing you're gonna have to consider. These Active 2.0s come with a GFCI plug. And by code, where I am, and you're gonna have to check where you are, I don't have to have a GFCI plug there, but it's recommended that you should because it'll reduce electrical shock. So if, let's say you have a wet hand or something and you go to unplug it or plug it or go near it or whatever, it reduces that risk. For the cost of what I'm doing here, one GFCI plug, I'm probably gonna do it. The only thing I need to make sure is that there isn't a three-way lead, I suppose you'd call it, where basically you have 3 routes of power because a GFCI only has so many load sides, so many protected sides. So I'm gonna have to mess around with that. I'm not an electrician. I have a good idea and understanding of where I land in home renovation and expertise. I can look it up and figure it out, and I also have resources like good friends that can give me an idea of what to look for information-wise, but that's something you should keep in mind. It is a good piece of advice. You are mixing water and electricity, of course, so we're gonna take a look at that, and I'm gonna change that plug out. Obviously, we have some accessories, and I don't know exactly how this is gonna go. I think this is gonna be roughly how it's laid out, and now we have to go work on the hose reel and get that mounted up. Okay, so it's time to figure out how I'm gonna put the reel on here. This is the panel from Garage Living. This is the Cox reel. And everything that I've seen online of other people doing similar setups, they go with this orientation. And the reason why it matters is this is going to be mounted below the Active 2.0, and the feed on the Active 2.0 is on the left side. So I want the feed of the reel to also be on the left side. So what we're going to do is kind of line this up in the center where things aren't going to be in the way. There's a few things to consider with the very specific way I'm doing it. Like I was saying, the tabs that actually lock these panels into the slat wall from Garage Living are at the top here. So you kind of don't want to block those, and ultimately you only really need 1 or 2, but I want to have all 3. And this is the accessory bag from Garage Living for the panel. So it has all the locking tabs, like all their little proprietary stuff, and some mounting hardware. The Cox reel didn't come with any mounting hardware, which I find surprising, unless somehow I didn't see it. I don't think so. So I'm going to use the panel hardware from Garage Living, and I found some washers. I keep a bin of every extra bolt and everything from every job ever. So it just so happens that I have 4 black washers that are going to be perfect for this. So the only concern I have from here is once I actually put a hose on this, is this panel going to wobble or anything in any way? I think it's going to be perfectly fine. I don't think we're going to cause any issues. But it is something that I'm curious about. This is pretty thick and it's made for a hose reel, but like a vacuum hose reel, but not this stuff. So especially not 100 feet of it. We'll see how this goes. And once I kind of get it to where it needs to be, I'll basically mark the holes, and they are slotted on the Cox reels, which is kind of nice. So even if I screw it up a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. But this is the orientation that I want it to work at. It looks like it's gonna be right. So I'm gonna get to work. That took about, honestly, like 3 minutes, give or take. I'm probably gonna spend more than that, just kind of making sure it's level and flush in the way I want it. But yeah, this is gonna work out really good. Is that gonna be right? Probably. So the idea with these locks is you push up. There. Now, can't go anywhere. All of this is gonna be quick connect and everything too. So if I go to another garage or move or build another one, like the long-term plan or whatever, this kind of stuff can just take off with me. Which, if you guys don't know me, you know, being a military household, we move constantly. So that's why I think like this, in case you're wondering. So I'm at the point now where basically I'm looking at all the fittings. You don't necessarily need the fittings that I chose. This is something that I chose to make everything quick connect, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to make things so movable and not have quick connects. So I opted in for these, and I'm just going to figure out which is which now. So these hose type fittings, I'm going to be able to basically install on my feed hose. I think I opted in for a 12-foot hose, which looks like it's more than enough to get to where my bib is, or my spigot's currently installed. So I'm going to get these on. And you don't need to be a hero about this. Just make sure they're snug, and when you're water testing, pay attention. But there is gaskets in here you want to make sure are in the spots you need them to be, and they don't get pinched or something like that. So I've currently got the line, the supply line run from the spigot that it's actually below the storage rack. And I ordered a bit of a long hose. Not that big of a deal. I probably could have gone a couple feet shorter. But I ran it up in the corner where it's hidden, and I'm going to come around through the back here, and you can see it here. I have all the quick connects on. I did them by hand. They're just snug, and I'll test for leaks at the end. But I think this is going to work well. All the fittings are on quick connect. So now I got to do the quick connect line that goes from the active 2.0 to the hose reel. So like a secondary feed that's going to feed the actual reel. What I'm going to do in the long run is also run the power over here, but I'm probably going to shorten the cable significantly. I might be able to hide it back there, which wouldn't be a terrible idea. Just in case I do move, I might need more wire or something like that. But at the end of the day, I can just crack it open and get a new one anyway if I need to at the next place or whatever. This next feed hose is actually pretty short. This is one of the custom ones that I got with the kit, kind of like the upgrade kit, we'll call it. I've got a little bit of nylock. You're going to see some plumbers like to nylock and pipe dope and all sorts of other stuff. This should be more than enough. We'll crank it down. The one end is not going to be quick connect. That feeds the hose reel, but the side that's actually on the active 2.0 will be. So I'm going to pipe dope this up, get in there, do that up. Then we just got to figure out the actual 100-foot hose. It's taken me longer to do little video segments than it is to install this, which is pretty sweet. This will be up and running today. Funny enough, the chemicals that I ordered will not be here today, so I'll be able to power wash, but I don't have any soap. Holy frig, it's delivery day, dude. Howdy.
I hope I'm on the time.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
How's everything?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Is it rims or? Oh, Home Depot.
Yeah.
Got it. The wife's been shopping.
How's your day?
Good. Yours? Busy or what?
Now, especially when the springtime starts, you know.
Have a good one. It's not even the delivery I was expecting. Non-stop. I wasn't expecting any deliveries today, actually, but tires showed up for the side-by-side. I think I have rims coming and the cleaning product for this video. I don't know if it's going to make it for the video. And then I guess my wife ordered outdoor furniture, so, you know. She's wanted some for a long time, and to be fair, I've soaked up a lot of the budget. I think it's her turn, and she knows it. What did I do with the wrench? Did you guys see where I put the wrench? Really? You guys don't know where it is either? Where the frick? It's around here. Oh, wait a second. Got it. Yeah, that could probably work. If I had a 90 though, it could be cleaner, or even a 45 would probably be best. Or I could do a 90 and actually go out the left. But I think this is gonna work. So our last line is the 100-foot line here. I'm not gonna completely unroll that for now, but on the inside of your reel, you can see obviously where it's gonna come out. We need to install that fitting, and you're also gonna see this one clip here. So when we actually get it installed, we're gonna put one side into the clip, and then you literally just roll it up. So we're gonna have that. We put a fitting on the end of this, and we're gonna be power washing in no time. So do me a solid. I'm gonna fire up the water. Let me know if any of this leaks. We're gonna find out pretty quick. Just yell at me or whatever here, because I gotta crawl under here. I'm getting older. Well, I guess we fire this thing up because I don't see anything. Well, I've got air, so the water's pushing air out. It might actually run all the way through, and the pump will actually increase. Oh yeah, look at that. No power required, just 4 psi, or whatever the house tank is set to. That is one of the things you have to concern yourself with, is just not allowing any air in the pump, because what'll happen is you'll airlock it, or at least you can. So, I don't have any of that. Is this thing... Easy, girl, easy. Dang, that's impressive. Wow. This is the scenario you're watching out for with that plug, by the way. Now I'm covered. There goes the bug zapper. Now I'm covered in water, and you know, I have that scenario going on. So we're going to be careful here. Probably get that done today too. Oh, check it out. Another delivery. That might be everything else that we're looking for, funny enough. Wow, it's delivery day.
Yep, that's right.
Thanks, fella.
No worries.
You too. So it's 15 minutes later or so. I basically took that entire 100-foot reel, launched it all the way down the driveway, and had to untangle that disaster, but got her done. She's reeled in, and my wife also showed up with a coffee. I'm very happy about that. She's behind the camera right now. So I think I'm going to let it rest like this for a little bit, just so that it kind of gains some new memory, because it will do that, especially after it sits for a long time. But everything's pretty well exactly how I imagined it. I'm very happy with that. And we have a few things that are going to adjust over time, but I think this is the basic premise of what I'm trying to show people. Now, this is here because the hardest part of a job is starting one. So when you get back from a trip, you know, your machines are filthy, and you know, the first step to everything afterwards is washing. So if you can get started, I love washing, just for whatever reason. Getting started is the hard part. So this is going to reduce that significantly. We have a couple of machines that we have to wash up. You're going to see that in a future video. We're going to do something that I like to imagine as a wash and talk. I've seen other channels do it, and I really like the idea. Just so we can kind of shoot the breeze about what's going on, try out some cleaning stuff. Because after a ride, I mean, my machines are filthy every time I take them out, especially the Renegade. You ride that in the yard and you're going to get all sorts of stuff on you. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. I think I'm going to finish off this video just trying the power washer on the Renegade, just getting some mud off. I don't actually have any cleaning product to do what this really does, so that's why it's going to be in a future video. I got every shipment today, except for the one that I was looking for. So I think I have to do some honeydew stuff now. I've got outdoor furniture to set up. Got to cut some grass, you know how it is, but let's reel this out and try power washing something real quick. That's how we'll wrap it up. I'm not sure what the orifice size on this is, but this is the Obsessed Garage tip, not the one that comes with the active. It's 40 degrees. Still a little bit of air in the system. I'm probably 50 feet away. I can barely hear that it's on. It's definitely not enough pressure to hurt your hand, which is exactly what you're looking for. That's what I was saying earlier, like you don't need a 5,000 PSI concrete breaking monster. That being said, I don't have any actual chemical or way of agitating the mud off, but to get the bulk off like I want to do, this is going to be perfect. That's freaking great. And the best part is when you let go, you're not demanding any pressure, the pump turns off.
Which is so stressful with a regular.
Yeah, the regular one, when it's running, you know, it's just gas and you feel like you have to rush for some. It's kind of like a power, like the car wash when you put the coins in.
Yeah, even worse.
You just feel like you have that anxiety to keep going, but I can stop anytime, talk to you guys, whatever. This is definitely the future. I am really happy with what I am experiencing right now. So this is what I was talking about earlier in the video. This isn't, you know, the highest end, most PSI, most flow setup you can do. This is what I would consider an intermediate setup. To some, it might even be a little higher than that. But like the Active 2.0 I bought, you know, a couple $100 or whatever, but like the highest end Krenzlas can go for 1,200, 2,000 or more, depending on what model you're going for. You know, so there is better versions. You can even stack multiple units and get the same PSI in the system because you're combining them, but you'll get the same PSI, but you'll get 4 gallons a minute, which would be great for washing. But like I said, if you're looking for like the nerdy stuff and the really nitty gritty fine little details, there's way better channels for that kind of thing. But I figured I'd give you guys the, you know, entry experience, beginner experience. Like how easy is that? You turn it on, pull your hose out and get to work. And I can even, you know, go to a stubby gun and just, you know, blast away, get into the tight little spots. That's something I never had before. It's not enough PSI that I'm worried about like stickers blasting off and, you know, stuff like that. So I'd probably pre-wash like this, put some soap on it, let it rest a little bit, and then just come back and blast it again, maybe agitate something that's a little more stubborn, whatever. I think you guys get the idea. I'm gonna keep chipping away at this and maybe I get a late delivery and I can do some soap and stuff, but that's kind of it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I want to thank Garage Living Ottawa, our channel sponsor. They've been so good to us. The Slatwall system basically made all of this happen. So without, you know, them, I don't think this would be possible as far as my vision goes. There is other ways of doing it. I think this is the perfect way for us, and it might be for you. If it is, you can check out the link in the description down below. Otherwise, the rest of this stuff, you know, we bought and paid for, but I think we're very happy with what we're seeing right now. If you can make your life a little bit easier, that's the way to go. I think so. I don't know how to end this video. Thanks, guys.